It started out it's just my mom and dad working out of a little apartment, and they called it Birkman and Associates, which was dad and his one associate, my mom. I am Sharon Birkman, and for the last 10 years, I've been the president and CEO of Birkman International. The Birkman method has been called a motivational assessment. More people understand it as a personality instrument, a personality tool. It really helps individuals and teams identify their strengths, their interests, their personality style and how they interact with others, how they can see themselves in a whole new light and relate to not only getting their own needs met, but the needs of the people that they're close to and that they work with. I think the seeds for the brilliance of the Birkman were planted in his experiences as a B-17 bomber pilot during the Second World War. What he realized is that when pilots would come back from a dangerous mission, he would hear two of the flyers describe the same event but see it in very different terms. And he realized both were being honest and both were accurate, but they were seeing different aspects of it and they saw it in a different way. At the end of the day, we are social pack animals. So naturally we want to fit into the culture, and we want to thrive in the country, the culture in which we're raised. And so for the most part, people will pick up these traits, and we tend to think we identify that as personality. What the Birkman is actually measuring is much deeper than that. We believe that Birkman is able to dig into much of our core interests and personality styles that are also very much born into us, and those remain constant and very similar across all cultures. We call it miracles that we've seen happen. We've seen it happen in corporate settings. We've seen it happen with students that are looking to better understand what kind of college they should choose, what kind of major. We've seen it between husbands and wives, between managers and supervisors, and very often, I think in most cases, people are really trying their best to do things right and to get it right. You know, no one sets out to be anything but successful. But often it's not having that ability to kind of have x-ray vision of what the other person is seeing through their own eyes, as well as what we are feeling in terms of our filters and our own style. I think for me, the most rewarding part of my job is when people turn and say, knowing that transformed my life. I had no idea that person never planned to irritate me. They just are different from me. It's like an eye-opening, transformative experience. So when they see that, they drop the defensive-ness, they drop the judgment, and they feel accepted, and they feel that they can be accepting of others. Now we are in 20 languages, and we have an international presence that is just beyond the scope of anything they could have imagined.
I'm Dan Perryman. I work with Walmart Global Sourcing out of China, and I've used the Birkman in about 15 different countries with our leaders. Walmart chose 9 years ago to start using the Birkman. Saw the advantage in the logistics area, which is where I was working at that point, to really make a difference in our leaders across the nation just moving boxes. The Birkman helped people understand themselves, helped them understand why they do things, motivations, things that we really don't typically talk about when you're a box mover. I've seen what it done in my life. When you see something that impacts you and you say, okay, I didn't understand this about myself. I had no idea. I'm looking at these dots and colors on a piece of paper and they're telling me something about me. This is nuts. But when you break it down and say, is that me? Is that the perception of me? Is that the way I see myself, the way I see others? And if that's true, what else could there be for me? And that's where the possibilities open up. And then you start talking to others and you see them start to learn things. And when people learn, that's when change happens, that's when fun happens, and that's when relationships are improved. When you think about scale, that's an important thing when you got a big business and you're in 27 countries around the globe. 2.2 million associates, about 35,000 of them have taken the Birkman assessment and have gotten feedback about how their style and their behaviors impacts the lives of others. We've got 90 consultants on staff that we keep going, talking to those people about behaviors. Birkman puts wheels to the talk. If we talk about this, what are we going to do differently? And the assessment just helps put some reality to that. And reality is where business wants to be. When you've got a common set of data on a large group of people, from CEO down to line level manager, the conversation can be amazing because we can say a few things, a few phrases mean so much to us because the instrument told us a lot about this. So by saying a few key words, I understand where someone's coming from. Oh, I don't have to spend 6 months getting to know you. In just a short visit, I can know what motivates you. You can share with me. And now we've got a common language and we can get something done without having to spend a lot of time on it. Everyone's an individual. Everyone's unique. And that's what the Birkman brings out. They help me understand myself and help me impact others and affect my results. How do you get beneath the facade that each one of us throws up? How do we dive below that and really talk to each other in a way that this is okay to talk about expectations. It's okay to talk about motivations. And we don't have to just gloss it over. In creating an instrument that allows us to do that, I think is brilliance.